Well, hello guys, welcome to the Versus Save. This is the episode 2 recap. So if you're not sure what the Versus Save is, basically I'm going head to head with two other creators, that Trucking Football Manager and Avoiding Relegation, and also the FM AI over the course of one season. We're all managing FC20 in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands. And we are all trying to get the most points. So whoever gets the most points in this basically wins. You will find videos for episode 1 and episode 2 on my channel and on the other two creators' channels. Links are all down below. And there's also a recap video from last game day episode and an introductory recap video. Currently, we have just got to game day 10. And episode 2 was all about game day 10 and what went before game day 10. So there are the end of the transfer window, potential tactical tweaks and various other things, all for us to get our teeth into. So without further ado, let us get into it, and we'll start off with finding out how the FM AI has got on. Okay, let's start out with a little look at the FM AI, how they've got on. So, as you can see, nothing's changed on the transfer front. They didn't bring anyone in, didn't put anyone out. Exactly the same since we looked last time. Tactically, they're still going with this strange 4-3-3 formation. It's not strange, it's just a little bit weird that they're going with it, since the players in the team are more set up to being wide, but that's what they've gone with. But let's have a look at their schedule, and you can see it has gone pretty darn terribly. So they have lost a bunch of games. I mean, they had a hard start against AZ Alkmaar and Feyenoord, got a decent 1-1 draw against Feyenoord, but then losing to Heracles, losing to Fortuna Sittard, it's really quite terrible. And they are scoring the odd goal. I don't even recognise that name. Why do I not recognise that name? They've got a young Dutch player who's appeared from nowhere. Maybe he came in on free. I don't know. I don't really understand that, considering they've not made any transfers. Drew with Groningen. Then, lost against Herenveen, lost against Ajax. Decent 1-0 victory against FCM, and they've finished off the year with a loss against VVV Venlo. And the game, match day 10, which we're looking at today, they got absolutely smashed against Utrecht, which was the two games that we've kind of featured have been games they've lost quite badly. Not that we're actually featuring, because we can't see the game. Oh, we can see the game. I don't know why we couldn't last time. Anyway, as you can see, Utrecht comfortable victors in this game. Only 5 shots on target, but managed to get 4 of them in. Drommel doing absolutely terribly. So, it's not going well. And as you can see, they are 18th in the Eredivisie, which is last, not by miles. ADO Den Haag are equal last with them, but it's not going well. So their manager, who is not any of us, it's Mr. AI manager. So there's someone Garcia, I seem to remember, top of me head. Staff. Gonzalo Garcia, there he is, 36-year-old Spaniard. So he was the assistant at Twente, and he went on to become manager. Anyway, so terrible start. Surely nobody else could have gone that badly. Surely. Let's go on and check out how Avoiding Relegation has got on. And we'll have a look at any transfers, anything else that's gone on in his save. Okay, so let's have a little look how Avoiding Relegation, or what he's done tactically now. What we've got here is, on the left side, we've got the tactic as it was after game 1, and on the right we have it as it was on the as it is now. Essentially, the whole tactic looks very, very similar, but there's been some subtle tweaks within it. Certainly within the player positions or player roles, you see that within the centre of the park, we've gone from an advanced playmaker on support now to an advanced playmaker on attack. Matsala's no longer there, so you've now got a box-to-box in there instead. Same personnel. And at the back, rather than the sort of stopper cover role, they've just got two flat centre-backs. Full-backs, I think I commented on this last time, he's moved those to wing-backs. So there's a lot of changes in the roles after that period of play, after 10 games. You also notice in terms of the player instructions, it's quite similar in possession and in transition, but there's a whole heap more instructions out of possession. He's gone more urgent. He's looking to prevent short goalkeeper distribution and also use tighter marking. So some interesting tweaks there to try and get a little bit more out of this tactic, and I think it certainly works better. Makes more sense to me that he's got wing backs rather if he's got inside forwards. I think otherwise you're kind of losing that. You're losing their ability. And interestingly, I haven't got the overlap on by the look of it. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. You might want, if you're going super attacking, you might want to chuck that on as well. Right, let's have a look at the transfer business that's been done. There's just one transfer that's come in. It's this lad, Salcido, Mexican international. I vaguely remember him from World Cups past. I'm sure I had his Panini sticker a good few times. I'm pretty sure he was one of those guys you used to have like 4,000 Panini stickers for. One of those annoying ones. But you can see he's 39. How many caps? Just keeps going. But I guess what he's been brought in for is this as a reasonable centre back. You can see actually he's quite short for a centre back, which is interesting. He's not he hasn't got the acceleration, but actually for a 39-year-old, 11 pace is pretty damn good. And the majority of his other stats for a 39-year-old is pretty good. He's very aggressive. You feel he's got a good few yellow and red cards in him. Decent, good stats all round, really. For someone of his age, I think it's not a bad pickup. Whether he's going to get many games, I don't know. But it's not the worst pickup, I think. Let's have a look at what's happened in the fixtures so far. In the first 9 games, we're going to see the highlights from game 10, which will be against PEC Zwolle. So we saw originally the 0-0 against RKC, and you can see that avoiding relegation has done incredibly well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. Particularly the last 4 games have been all victories. It's all kind of tight wins, apart from the game against Wilhelm 2. Bit of a dodgy spell here, losing to Fortuna Sittard, who aren't all that. Draw away against Utrecht, that's not bad. And then a draw at home against Sparta, that's not great. But I think the real pick-out result here is this away win against AZ Alkmaar. They're a decent side, and to get a win there is pretty damn good. So it'll be interesting to see. You'd expect them with this form to win against PEC Zwolle, but we will see. Right, let's move on to the Trucking Football Manager. Right then, so let's have a look what that Trucking Football Manager has been up to. So no tactical tweaks. He's kept the same tactic, but he has brought in another player, Alexander Meyer, who is 36 years old. I mean, again, I don't know what it is with these old players. I mean, he's not the fastest. If he's in the wrong place, he's probably going to stay in the wrong place. Unfortunately, his positioning is pretty terrible as well, which isn't great, and he's got no work rate. But he has got some quite fantastic stats. Finishing of 17 is pretty damn good. And look at the sort of composure, the concentration and anticipation. So if by some fluke of chance that he does receive the ball because he's in the wrong place, you would think he could do something quite spectacular with it. Passing isn't all that. So, I don't know. Remains to be seen how effective he is for TTFM. I will, I don't know, hold my breath on that one. So let's see how he's got on. So this is his last, well, the first 9 games, and the game that you will be seeing will be a home against ADO Den Haag. As you can see, he hasn't gone particularly fantastic. He started off with that loss against Venlo that you saw last time out, and he did win the next game against Emmen, but you would expect that. He lost against PSV away, you might expect that. Draw against Heerenveen, not terrible, and away win against Sparta. That's not a terrible run. It's what comes out after this that's the problem. 1-0 loss at home against Heracles, not great. Absolutely smashed by Ajax. A win over RKC, and then a draw away at Groningen. It's not terrible, but it's not enough, really, is it? It's not enough, considering how you saw avoiding relegation starting. So we'll see how he does against ADO Den Haag. Right, next up, we'll see how I get on, the Custard Prophet, and then we'll see the highlights from all of us from game day 10. Okay, so let's have a little look at what I've been up to with my tactics. So I have tweaked it a little bit, again, just trying to improve what I had before. So the one on the left there is what it was, and the one on the right is what it is now. As you can see, I've gone to a positive mentality rather than balanced. I've taken off the overlap, and that's primarily because I've moved my left-sided defenders to fullbacks on support rather than wing-backs on attack. And actually, bizarrely, it seems to be working a lot better. Avoiding relegation has gone the other way, but that's fine. I mean, it seems to be working okay for both of us. But other than that, in terms of in terms of player instructions, there's no real changes. The only other thing that's happened, rather than a deep line playmaker for Espinosa, I've got him as an advanced playmaker. It's interesting, I've got Espinosa doing the playmaking role, whereas it's the other way around, I think, for the other 2 guys. But that's it, yeah, kept it pretty much the same beyond that. So let's see how I've done. If you haven't seen this already, as you can see, we started off with our 3-2 win over Utrecht in the game you saw in episode 1, and we will be looking in the game by day 10 today in the home game against Wilhelm II. But in between that, we've done really well, particularly early on. Wins over Heracles, Vitesse Arnhem. A brilliant home draw against PSV, which was an absolute stonking result. Smashed AZ, and it was looking fantastic at that point. But then, in more recently, we've kind of slowed down a bit. PEC Zwolle, we drew 0-0 with them, missed a penalty, lost to Ajax, and then had 2-2 draws against Sparta and Emmen, neither of which were particularly great. So we're going to go up against Wilhelm II. Okay, guys. That is coming now. Make sure you stick around. We have game day 10, all the goals. Let's see how we've all got on.
Trupe, back to Busquets. Looks like we've been keeping possession. Come on, Espinosa. Let's try something a bit more forward thinking. Cantala La Piedra with a goal! Lovely, lovely shot. A little bit of shimmy in the box. And that's a left-footed effort, I'm sure, but that's his 4th goal of the season. FC20 1. PEC Zwolle 0.
Backer. Somerville. Is that Mies Backer? Oh, no, he was a goalkeeper. Never mind. Myers. It's a good cross. That's poor. Mark Duffy tucks it away, but the thing is, if that's going to roll along the goal line 2 yards out, someone's got to be doing something about it. Here we go, we've got a free kick. Zeknini floats it in, Berggreen gets up and it's a crossbar, it's bouncing around. Can we force it across the line? It's gone in. It looks like it's going to count. Javi Espinosa. Don't ask. I haven't got the first clue what happened there, but the ball's rustled the net, so that'll do me. Quite managed to get away with that one. Myers continues with the ball and sends it back to that guy. And, Bergelsdijk? Maybe? Malone is away down the right wing. Matos does not get his foot in, and it's a header from Somerville, and it's 2-1. Plays it out wide. Zeklini, that's a beautiful ball. Zeklini cuts inside, has a go, and it's in. And that is a lovely finish. Granted, the keeper gets a hand and probably should save it, but it's still a lovely finish.
Shoot on sight, and this does inflate our stats a little bit, but oh, it's in! It's bloody in! It's Twente, it's Zucchini, he's bloody fried him. He has fried him. Well, some interesting results there, some crazy goals. Well, one crazy goal. Another win for the Custard Prophet, which is good to see. That Trucking Football Manager just about scraping a draw, 2-2. To be fair, it probably was deserved. And avoiding relegation, continuing that fantastic run of form with a fairly modest 1-0 win over PEC Zwolle. As I mentioned right at the start, the FMAI struggling as always, losing 4-1 to FC Utrecht. So let's see what that has done to the league. This is the bit that you've all been waiting for, isn't it? And here we go. So I've been replaced at the top of the table by Avoiding Relegation, who now has 6 wins, 3 draws and 1 loss, with a total of 21 points. Very, very good. I am just 2 points behind him with 5 wins, 4 draws and 1 loss, and a couple less on my goal difference. That Trucking Football Manager is doing okay. He's not that far behind. 7 points behind me, 9 behind Avoiding Relegation. So it's certainly at this early stage is not completely out the equation, and that's 3 wins, 3 draws and 4 losses with a -3 goal difference and just 12 points. And the FMAI, good God, what is going on there? A single win, 2 draws, 7 losses and a -12 goal difference. Good God, what is going on? 5 points. I can safely say I don't think the FMAI is doing all that. Is going to do anything but come forth. And I think it's also probably relevant to say is that the manager is looking very, very on very dodgy ground at the minute. And if he gets sacked, as per the rules, that will be the pointage that the FMAI stays on. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this recap. We are going to be coming back for game day 18, so we're going to play the next 7 games, and we'll come back for the 8th game. That will be pretty much half of the season gone. Yeah, I hope you're ready for that, and please let us know down below, looking at what's happened so far, who do you think's got the edge? Avoiding relegation, that run of form, changing tactics, is that doing it for you? Is my my loss of form, is that doing it for you? Or TTFM, is he going to come from behind and take us all? Let us know in the comments. As always, really appreciate you watching, particularly if you watched it this far, although this is the bit you're all interested in. Thank you very much. If you are new, please like the video, please subscribe. Please also go over to these other guys' channels, links all down below, and have a watch of their stuff, subscribe to them. And I'll see you next time on Saturday for episode 3. Thank you very much for coming along. Cheers. Goodbye.